Hey there, it's Rory. In today's video, I'm going to help you troubleshoot an issue with Whirlpool built refrigerators where the ice level sensor is not working and is preventing your ice maker from making ice. This problem is likely caused by either a faulty receiver board or malfunctioning emitter board. Before we dive in, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more do-it-yourself appliance repair tips. Don't worry, you can definitely handle this repair yourself, and I'm here to guide you through it step by step. Let's get started and get your refrigerator back to peak performance. With over 2 million products in stock and the know-how to help you do it yourself, we are AppliancePartsPros.com. For today's work, we'll need a multimeter, a 1/4-inch nut driver, a flathead screwdriver, a Phillips head screwdriver, and a putty knife. Also, please remember that safety comes first. Before we really dive in, there are two types of Whirlpool refrigerators that use the optic type ice level sensor, side-by-sides and French doors. If your ice maker has a bail arm on it, then it will usually not have the ice level sensor. Both of these, for the most part, use the exact same emitter and receiver boards, sometimes referred to as the optics package. With a few notable exceptions, the diagnostic mode and voltage testing are also generally the same. The only big difference between these two types of fridges when it comes to the ice level sensors is accessing, removing, and replacing them. But don't worry, we'll be going over both styles. I would also like to note that if you are replacing either the emitter or the receiver board, it is recommended to replace both, so our testing and replacement will be following that recommendation. As previously stated, the diagnostic mode testing for the side-by-side and French door fridges is usually the same. First, we'll go into diagnostic mode by pressing and holding the leftmost two buttons on the user interface with the doors closed. You should see a countdown and then a flashing 1 or 01, as well as hear some tones. Then use the 5th button from the left to go to the ice level sensor test number 15. It should briefly illuminate the test number before going to either 01 or 02. If you've gone too far, use the 4th button from the left to go back. 01 indicates the ice bin is either full or not present, and 02 indicates the ice bin is not full. Open the left-hand door at this point and remove the ice bin. If the display was showing 02, it should now be showing 01. If the display was already showing 01, make sure the ice level slide is in the on position and check the action of the flapper door to see if the test will now transition properly. If your display was showing 02 to begin with, or the test is now switching between 01 and 02 when the flapper door is manually activated without blocking the beam, then the ice level sensor is working properly. If the ice level sensor test does not give a valid reading or never transitions off of 01, we've got a bad optics package or a failed user interface. At this point, we can exit diagnostics, if the ice level sensor was behaving correctly, by pressing and holding the two buttons furthest to the left again. If the ice level sensor was not behaving correctly, go ahead and unplug the fridge or turn it off at the breaker. Once power has been disconnected from the refrigerator, we can gain access to the optics package for testing. We'll go over the side-by-side model first. Open the freezer door and remove the ice bin. Then remove the two Phillips head screws holding the outer ice bin frame to the door and take off that frame. There may be some insulation tabs on either side of the inner frame. Take a picture of these to reference when putting everything back together and then remove them. Access to the French door model's emitter and receiver is a bit simpler. With the refrigerator disconnected from power, open the left-hand door, open the ice room door, and remove the ice bin. Using a putty knife, trim tool, or flathead screwdriver, preferably plastic so as not to damage or mar the lining, pry the receiver cover out on the inner left side of the ice bin enclosure until the cover and receiver board pop out. Use the same process for the emitter board on the right. The voltage testing for the optics package is performed at the 3-wire connector between the door harness and the emitter and receiver harness. Disconnect the 3-wire connector and set the multimeter to read DC voltage. As always, extreme care should be taken to protect against electric shock, which could potentially result in serious injury. Please do not test live voltage if you are uncomfortable using a multimeter around live voltage. Plug the fridge back in and go back into diagnostics mode. Then go to test 15. On the harness coming from the door, take a voltage reading from pin 1 to pin 3. The wire colors may vary, but usually the number 1 position will have red or orange, which may or may not have a black tracer, and the number 3 position will be black with or without a green tracer. This should be giving us roughly 14 volts DC. If the voltage is present, the optics package will need to be replaced. If voltage is not present, then the user interface will need to be replaced. After this testing is complete, we can again disconnect the unit from power. With a small flathead screwdriver or something similar, depress the tabs holding the receiver board and cover on the left side of the inner frame and push them inwards until we can get a hold of the cover and pull it into the ice bin area. Remove the 2 Phillips head screws holding the receiver to the cover, then disconnect the harness attached to the receiver board. Repeat the same process with the emitter on the right side of the inner frame. Since we already have the emitter and receiver covers and boards out, we can remove the 2 Phillips head screws holding the receiver to the cover. Repeat the same process with the emitter on the right side of the inner frame and disconnect the harness from it. Here's the original emitter and receiver, and here's the new ones. If you've already got them, great. If not, you can pick up both at appliancepartspros.com. Connect your harness to the emitter and receiver boards, then reattach them to their respective covers with the Phillips head screws. Emitter on the right and receiver on the left. Then pop the covers back into their housings. Reconnect the door harness to the receiver harness and make sure the on-off slide is in the on position. Put your insulation tabs back on the inner frame and slide the outer frame in place. Secure the outer frame with its screws, reinstall the ice bin, and close the freezer door. Connect your harnesses to the emitter and receiver boards, then reattach them to their respective covers with the Phillips head screws, with the emitter on the right and the receiver on the left. Then pop the covers back into their housings. Make sure the on-off slide is in the on position. Reinstall the ice bin, close the ice bin door, and close the freezer door. Don't forget to plug your fridge back in or flip that circuit breaker back on. If you've determined that the issue with your Whirlpool refrigerator's ice maker is due to a faulty optics package, head over to appliancepartspros.com with your model number to order the correct replacement part. Most orders arrive within just a couple days, so you can get your fridge back to optimal performance in no time. Once your new part arrives, refer back to our video guides for a smooth installation process. We'd love to hear about your repair journey, so let us know how it went in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and happy fixing.